Hey guys, I want to make a little video regarding questions that I've been receiving. Specifically, what is a raw vegan? A raw vegan is a person who only eats foods that are unaltered, no preservatives. Unaltered meaning we don't cook the food, because when you cook foods, you kill enzymes, and then your body is not getting the nutrients from that food. For instance, when you cook vegetables, you're killing all the natural enzymes inside that vegetable, so what you're eating is really nothing. Your body's not getting any nutrients. This is one of the reasons people are so overweight, because they're eating and eating and eating, but their cells aren't getting any form of vitamins, minerals, all sorts of different important nutrients that raw foods have. There's a greater detail in that, but for this video's purpose, I want to keep it simple. For instance, when you eat nuts, most people just grab nuts, usually they buy the roasted, salted. Well, those nuts have not been properly prepared for you to consume. We're not birds. Birds have a specific sac that sprouts these nuts when they eat them, so they get the nutrients from the nuts. Well, when people go buy nuts, they've been already altered. And even if you buy the raw form of nuts, you have to soak these nuts to release the enzymes inside of them. Most of the foods that people eat are very dehydrated and processed foods, like cereals, pastas, rice, and things like that, that really they're just dried, non-nutrient type of foods. Your body just, what it does is just sits there in your intestines and rots. That's why people have gluten intolerance, because it's glue, gluten glue. It's stuff that just sits there in your intestines and rots. When you eat animal products, oh my God, if most of the people even knew what happens inside of you when you consume animal products, you would never eat another piece of meat, chicken, eggs, or cheese. It's disgusting. And again, I won't go into the full details because it's very scientific in nature, but it's just, your cells don't understand this. It really doesn't do you any justice, and that's why we see the obesity that we're seeing in the world today. I lost 40 pounds very quickly by just eliminating all animal products, eliminating any processed foods. And basically, all I eat are fruits and vegetables in their natural form, and it's preferably organic as much as I possibly can, because sometimes it gets pretty expensive. I'm trying to grow my own stuff so that I could have the organic foods without spending an arm and a leg. I do very little nuts and seeds because I try to keep my intake of fat very low. Okay, I try to keep my percentage of fat around 10%. So let's say I would eat 2,000 calories a day. 10% of that will be 200 calories from fat. Okay, so that's also made me very lean. My form of fat stems from avocado or flax seeds, and the reason I take flax seeds is because it has the omega-3. And since I'm not eating any fish or having any fish oil that I used to consume back in the day, one does require omega-3 in order to get proper nerve conduction. I drink plenty of water, but I get the best form of water ever because I eat a lot of fruit. My diet consists of, I say, 80% fruits, and the other 20% stems from leafy greens. I do tomatoes, I do cucumbers. I sprout a lot of lentils, mung beans. I sprout wheat berry. Now I do get some form of grain, but when you sprout the grain, you remove that glue from it, and your body is able to deal with it. See, if your cells can't communicate with what you're putting inside, then the cell have to create abnormal cells, and this is why we get cancer. Cancer is abnormal cell growth. So if you're constantly putting things inside your body that your body doesn't understand, then your body is trying to reach homeostasis, which means balance, and by creating this balance, it creates abnormal cells, sickness, and so forth and so on. Is it hard to be a raw vegan? To tell you the truth, if you do it the right way, it isn't. There's a lot of raw vegans out there that eat lots and lots of nuts, and that they're consuming probably more fat than they would if they were eating the standard American diet. and they create all these little fun dishes, you know, so that they don't feel deprived. But in the long run, then you start getting cravings because you haven't really changed much except the fact that you're not cooking your food. I am, on the other hand, I'm what they call a low-fat raw vegan. So I don't do a lot of fat. I don't get the cravings. And the reasons why you get cravings on a high fat, because your cell is screaming out for glucose. Our bodies and our brains run basically on sugar, okay, glucose. And not the white powder and not the cereals, but levulose, which comes from fruit. So if you give your body enough fruit, then you have no cravings because your cells are satisfied. They're saturated with what they need. The fat doesn't allow the insulin receptors to communicate, and then all that sugar just stays in your bloodstream. It doesn't go inside the cell because it can't. It's been, imagine a marble filled with olive oil. Try to clean those marbles out. You're going to have that residue, and that's what happens when you eat too much fat. Your cells get clogged and cannot receive the proper nutrients they need from the fruit. So I eat tons and tons of fruit. And sometimes, like for dinner tonight, I had 2 pounds of cantaloupe. And I have in the morning 4 or 5 bananas and mango, raisins. I just have a ton of fruit all the time. And actually, I should be eating more than I'm eating, but I'm a small person and my stomach, as much as I try to stretch it, I get full real easy. And I have to be careful because I have irritable bowel syndrome, so I can't sit there and overly gorge as some of the fruitarians or 80-10-10ers, which is what I would be considered. But little by little, I'm trying to, because the more fruit I eat and the higher the caloric intake, the better you feel and the stronger you become. My only sorts of protein besides the greens, because greens have plenty of protein, believe it or not, especially spinach. I do rice protein, and I've also done in the past sprouted protein, which is called raw protein or something like that, and it has a whole mixture of different kind of sprouts. I haven't had any cooked food since I became a raw vegan in October of 2010. And if you go back to my videos, those that haven't watched it, you'll see my transition. I was a very bloated person because of the hormones that I was on and the diet that I consumed. I ate a lot of chicken, I ate a lot of fish. I try to have what they call the bodybuilding, eat 5 to 6 small meals a day. And I wasn't feeling good. My blood pressure was high, tired all the time, just wasn't feeling right. I became a raw vegan because I started having a lot of stomach issues, terrible stomach issues. And I did a lot of research, and I figured there's got to be a way for me to stop feeling this way. And the epiphany also led for me to stop taking hormones. Right now I'm taking maca. It's a powder that comes from indigenous people in Peru, and it's so far so good. Haven't lost my sex drive. I've lost some body hair because I used to be a bear when I was on testosterone, and obviously now not being on testosterone, I'm not much of a bear. As a matter of fact, I've lost the majority of my hair. I still have some. These are some of the veins that you can see here that I have. And I still have chest hairs, but I'm not as hairy as I used to be, which is okay because I was a little too hairy before. So the trans guys out there are wondering, well, if you stop taking tea, do you turn into a pumpkin at midnight and become a female again? My voice hasn't changed. My privates haven't changed. It's still as size as it was before. It still becomes aroused as it did before. I still get facial hair, and I've been shaving and just kind of keeping the little sideburns there, and the gold tea, and I'm letting my mustache grow back again. Some hair growth, though, I've noticed. I don't know if it's from being a raw vegan that's happened, but hey. Anyway, I think, because I'm doing a direct upload, and I think this stops at 10 minutes, so I don't want to be cut off. Anyway, if you guys have any question, concern, feel free to ask. Love you guys, and remember to always love yourself too. I'm going through a rough time right now. It's recently divorced from Violet. There are good days and bad days. Today wasn't such a good day. I missed her a lot today. But hey, that's life. All right, guys, take care. Be well.